What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. If you're looking for the perfect build to take into Lightfall to smash through legendary campaigns and absolutely annihilate champions, then today is your lucky day, because today we're taking a look at a new Stasis build that will forever change the way that you play Hunter in Destiny 2. You'll enjoy the luxuries of the Hunter's quickness and mobility while harnessing a playstyle that is typically reserved for tanky Titans. While several of the current mods and builds will be augmented in Lightfall, this Stasis build has been fine-tuned to see minimal changes to its performance and lethality when Lightfall arrives, and in large part is thanks to three extremely vital mechanics: the Renewal Grasp exotic gauntlets, the Lament exotic solar sword, and a very nifty legendary weapon trait called Demolitionist. When this glorious combination comes together, you'll have a Stasis Hunter build that's ready to take on the hardest challenges that Lightfall has to offer. So let's take a look under the hood and see what this Stasis build is all about, starting with the Renewal Grasps, which come with the intrinsic trait called Depths of the Duskfield. This provides several benefits to Duskfield grenades, including a larger overall radius. Enemies who are within a Duskfield radius deal 50% less damage, and while you or an ally are within a Duskfield, you receive a 9-second damage resistance buff of 25%. With the upcoming changes to resistance, this could provide Stasis Hunters with a significant advantage. When combined with the Touch of Winter aspect, the size of the crystal created from the Duskfield grenade will be substantially larger and will inflict more damage when shattered. Since the slow and freezing effects of Stasis abilities will stun, overload, and unstoppable champions, the Renewal Grasp provides some extremely top-tier benefits. There is a penalty imposed when wearing Renewal Grasp, an elongated cooldown on grenade energy, dropping the base cooldown to 152 seconds, which at first look can seem pretty daunting, but there's a reason I said this build will change the way you play Hunter. We'll be counteracting this penalty through our choices in fragments and mods, which we'll circle back around to here soon. First though, let's open up this Stasis subclass and see what's going on. First off, we've got Grim Harvest. Defeating slowed or frozen combatants creates Stasis Shards. These shards grant melee energy when picked up by you or allies. When Lightfall releases, elemental wells will be phased out, with each element getting their own unique item. This means Guardians running Stasis builds will no longer have to rely on the Elemental Shards mod to become charged with light or trigger other buffs. While this build does currently utilize Elemental Shards, this mod will likely be phased out, providing an open slot to be used. We're also using Touch of Winter, which, as we discussed earlier, gets a major buff by Renewal Grasp by providing a slowing field with the Stasis Crystal in the center. One of the most underrated benefits of the Duskfield grenade is its ability to act as a makeshift barricade, which can provide tremendous benefits when in combat, especially with this build. Our choice in fragments revolves around two crucial components: regeneration of grenades and energies, as well as health and resilience. With that being said, we're using Whisper of Chains. This gives us 10 extra points of recovery, but more importantly, it provides 40% damage resistance when within 10 meters of a frozen enemy or a friendly crystal, something that we'll be spending a lot of time around. While Whisper of Chains will provide resistance, Whisper of Rhyme will provide us with health and an overshield. When picking up a small Stasis shard, 12 points of health will be granted and 35 points for a large shield, and when at full health, a 100 health point overshield, lasting for 10 seconds. We're also using Whisper of Shards, which is going to give our grenade energy recharge rate a boost by 500% for 6 seconds whenever shattering a crystal, which more than makes up for the penalty from Renewal Grasp. We're using Whisper of Rending, which will provide bonus damage to primary weapons when used against frozen enemies, taking on an additional 50% bonus damage. The final fragment we're using is Whisper of Durance, an extremely beneficial fragment to use, which increases how long enemies are affected by your slowing effects, and it will also cause lingering slowing effects to last longer, meaning that this will help keep Duskfields up much longer. Now that we've looked at the subclass tree, let's take a look at the weapons, the armor, and the mods that complete this build. While currently Guardians are arm locked into heavily focusing towards resilience, this is something that should be toned down quite a bit in Lightfall, so it won't be as important to run 100 resilience, meaning that those points can be allocated towards mobility to improve movement speed and class ability regeneration, or strength to reduce the recharge of the Stasis shuriken, or discipline to improve the recharge rate of the Duskfield grenades. Like I mentioned earlier, we are utilizing the Elemental Shards mod, as well as the Elemental Charge mod. This way we can become charged with light whenever picking up a Stasis shard. And like I mentioned earlier, this is a process that will be much more streamlined in Lightfall, opening this build up to have additional mods slotted in. With alternate mods in mind, the Supercharged mod will be a great asset to add to this build, as it will provide extra stacks of Charged with Light, which can certainly come in handy. With that being said, becoming charged with light is going to provide 3 different things. First, it's going to give us high energy fire, which provides a 20% bonus to any weapon damage. We're also using firepower, which currently is a solar mod, but once Lightfall arrives, mods will no longer be tied to an element, giving Guardians a bit more freedom in mod usage when it comes to build crafting. Firepower is going to provide a 15% boost in grenade energy after throwing a grenade while charged with light. The third thing that Charged with Light is going to provide is Lucent Blade, which could just as easily be swapped out for Argent Ordnance if running a rocket launcher. But since this build is revolving around the use of the Lament, Lucent Blade will provide a 35% boost in sword damage for 5 seconds while charged with light, and it will also improve the charge rate of swords by 50 points. Since the Lament comes preloaded with the ability of piercing anti-barrier shields, returns health, and emits an overpowered attack that flattens its opponents, it is a perfect weapon to pair up with this build to give Stasis hunters a dominating and unstoppable tank-like playstyle. Even though we're running 3 mods that consume stacks of Charged with Light, since we'll be able to keep enemies frozen, we'll be able to regenerate an ample amount of shards, which provide 2 stacks of Charged with Light for each shard, and is another reason why Supercharged will be a great mod to add to this build if Elemental Shards goes away. By running Impact Induction on our gloves, we'll be able to get 20% grenade energy back after hitting enemies with our shuriken. By using 2 Impact Inductions, we'll get 30% instead, providing us with just another component of regenerating those Duskfield grenades. Grenade Kickstart is a great alternative here. Grenade Kickstart provides 15% grenade energy after throwing a grenade, and 25% for the use of 2. We're using Utility Kickstart along with Distribution. Utility Kickstart is going to provide a 15% boost to class ability energy after dodging, and Distribution is going to provide all abilities with returned energy when dodging near enemies. I mentioned earlier that Demolitionist is one of the vital components to this build, and it's for that reason that we're running the Deliverance, the Stasis kinetic fusion rifle from the Vow of the Disciple raid. While most any weapon with Demolitionist will pair up nicely with this build, the Deliverance offers something few other weapons can, as it can come with both Demolitionist and Chill Clip. Chill Clip will be especially beneficial against champions, as it can single-handedly stun Overload and Unstoppable champions. Demolitionist is an absolute must, as it returns grenade energy after kills, and while the Deliverance is equipped, throwing a grenade will automatically reload the weapon, something that will make you forget entirely about the grenade recharge penalty, since we can expect to see quite a few kills out of the Deliverance running Harmonic Siphon, along with the Better Already or Recuperation mods can provide an additional health source, while running Insulation or Innervation can provide class ability or grenade energy back after picking up orbs. When it comes to primary weapons that really synergize with this build, it's hard to pass up on the trusty Scout Rifle from the Deepstone Crypt raid, as it comes with the origin trait called Braytech Inheritance, which returns ability energy as you deal damage. The Trustee can also come with Incandescent, just like the Callus Mini Tool, another great option with this build, as it can drop with Unrelenting, giving you health back after consecutive kills. But the inclusion of weapons with Demolitionist will be the most beneficial with this build to ensure that you're never without a dusk-filled grenade. Once you've connected all the components of this build, you'll create some intense synergy that's going to allow you to throw dusk-filled grenades like hotcakes, becoming nearly unstoppable in the process, and then slicing through all of the frozen enemies with ease. And with that, we've taken a full look under the hood of this amazingly powerful Stasis Hunter build that is primed and ready to take on champions and crush anything in its path when Lightfall releases in just a few short weeks. You can find an easy to copy item manager link in the description below, and while you're at it, I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's Hunter's build, and if you'll be giving it a try with Lightfall. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. And until next time, Guardians, this is Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.